Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. We are off to Beijing. Thank you, Samurai Sam, for getting our day started with a crab rave. We will have no roundabouts, and weekly choices are a mystery. Oh, potentially no. I was going to say, oh no, because roundabouts, but also, listen, every time the game takes roundabouts away, the underscore Goog responds by being really good at games somehow. So maybe that'll just happen again. That would be nice. We don't have to build. We don't have the opportunity to build the roundabout that kills everything. Now listen, Sam did, I've mentioned before that I have a little group chat on Discord with folks. Yeah, my best score ever did have a lot of roundabouts. That's true. I've mentioned before, I have a little group chat on Discord with some folks who will be known to people who watch the streams regularly, right? Parwa Ghost is in it, Bog Unicorn is in it, and Samurai Sam is in it. And in that little Discord chat earlier today, last night actually, right when the score was posted, Samurai Sam just, he engaged in a little bit of taunting about his Mini Motorways score. And it was reasonable for him to do so because at the time, Samurai Sam had the #1 score in the literal actual world. Of all of the people who had done the daily challenge, by the time Samurai Sam did the daily challenge, Samurai Sam had the best score. So, listen, it's probably gonna be a Samurai Slam kind of day, but who knows? We've got one business and one road going. Hit that 1B1R button if you like it. I never shout out Izzy, who made the frickin' 1B1R. Shout out to Izzy for doing a good. But yeah, it's probably not gonna be the best score for the Goog today, but who knows? Who knows? Weekly choices are a mystery. We could get lucky. It could be nothing but pie in the sky and motorways in our faces. Ow, ow, scratchy head faced pain. Now then, what was I saying? I was going to say that it is Wednesday, my dudes, which means that last night we played Baldur's Gate 3. Let's take a bunch of road tiles. Okay. Not going to complain too much about having a bunch of road tiles dumped in my lap early in a run. Baldur's Gate 3 continues to be a very fun, very enjoyable, very engrossing video game. I'm starting to worry about, last night I had the thought how much of this is going to get on YouTube, but, it's good. Last night we had a bunch of conversations with our friends, which is good. We got to make out with Shadowheart, which is always an enjoyable time, let me tell you. And then we stumbled onto a battle with a bunch of wargs and herb gerblins, and who were those people? They were gnolls, that's it. We were fighting a bunch of gnolls, and we fought a bunch of gnolls, and we died. Then we fought a bunch of gnolls again, and we died. Again. And then we fought the same bunch of gnolls, what had previously killed our entire party twice, and killed them in about 5 minutes because I figured out how to win the battle. It's usually what happens in video games. You're like, oh, I'm supposed to do that. And then you do that, and then you win very handily, which is, again, exactly what happened. So, let's kill... we're going to kill this light blue road here and run these 2 light blue houses up this way. This light blue road right here is going to run a very long way like so to provide extra support for this business. It's not a stupid road, Sam. It's a mildly inconveniencing road. If we wind up needing more red to get to this circle, then we're going to have trouble. But, everything's fine. Everything's probably fine. I think. It'll be okay. This green can come down this way. We are going to have to do an awkward little corner cut right here. I hate the aesthetics of this awkward little corner cut right here, but, it was the only way that we were getting this light blue over to this way and into this business. So, needs, must, and all that jazz. Give me a motorway to replace the one I'm about to use? No. Fine. Jerk. We'll take these two yellows, pop motorway number 1 off over this way. I could have, put all these yellows on the same road and then extended this road out to here, but that would have been bad. We should not do that, so we're not going to do that. Samurai Sam asks, is the _Goog a Rocky person? I finally saw the first Rocky movie this past weekend. I'm, culturally aware of Rocky. I have probably seen bits and pieces of the first 3 or 4 Rocky movies, but I have never seen any of them front to back, cover to cover, start to finish, or anything like that. I will now proceed to, as much as I can, recount the plot of the first... let's see, how many Rocky movies can I name? All right, so Rocky 1, there's... if you're serious about not being spoiled for the Rocky movies, this is going to take, 2 minutes. No spoilers for sequels. No, I'm discussing my cultural osmosis, damn it. Maybe I'll make something up. I will absolutely not make something up. All right, let's take this yellow, just run big long road going off this way into here. That should be fine. All right, so Rocky 1, you've got plucky underdog boxer Rocky Balboa, who wants to be the heavyweight champion, but everyone's like, oh, you can't be the heavyweight champ, Rocky. You're not from a fancy boxing school, or whatever dumbass reason people give Rocky for him not being able to be the heavyweight champion. But Rocky's like, yo, Adrian, fuck you. I beat the guy and I win the fights. And he, yeah, there are probably many scenes in these movies that would not be done the same way. There's a great deal of, I'm just going to say racism. Just, again, not having seen the movie, it's probably racism, but it could also be homophobia. It's entirely possible. It could be both. It could be racist homophobia. That would be bad. All right, how are we going to do this, I wonder? There's a problem up here, this thing that needs to happen. Well, let's do this. You reds are going to run over this way, and we're going to run down here. Okay. And then I can do this silly little road right this way to get up you. That sounds right. We only have one gray house serving this gray business, which is not enough gray houses, actually. So let's give another gray house up this way. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, so you've got plucky little underdog Rocky Balboa, who is the first and only time in the history of scripted fighting where someone actually gets over by losing, because he takes on big heavyweight world champion guy. I think this is the one with Apollo Creed. I think it started with Apollo Creed. Could be wrong, but he takes on big heavyweight champion Apollo Creed guy, and then he loses, but it's really close, and everyone's like, holy shit, this guy Rocky came out of nowhere and almost beat the world champion, and he's really happy and successful, I guess. I don't know. Let's pause for a moment, and then boop, and we're gonna run boop. These reds are gonna be 5 reds feeding into this circle, like so. And this red business here will be supported primarily by this red house. Sorry about that tree, but also by these 2 red houses here. So we've got 5 reds going in here, and 1, 2, 3 reds going down there. Wunderbar. Sam says there's a scene where he takes Adrian to his apartment for the first time. She's awkward but likes him. If you see the scene out of context, I mean, that's true of a lot of stuff. If the worst thing that happens in Rocky 1 is that Rocky and Adrian have an awkward date, good on you, Rocky 1. But anyway, how are we gonna do this? No, I can't really. We're going to have to traffic light it. Okay. I also only have 9 road tiles, so we're not doing shit about shit right now. But eventually, what I could do is just staple the greens to this road up here. Actually, futz. It seems... Actually, I can totally... Yeah, give me a bunch of road tile, and I've got this. Okay. You go up there, get me to the roads. Give me roads? Bridge and roads. Okay, we'll take that. We're gonna reroute these yellows up in a more northerly direction. They're gonna come up here and boop, 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 and boop. We're gonna have to wait for all of this to go away before... It's gonna be annoying. It's gonna have to take a long time getting here. Come on. Get out of here, yellow guy. You get out of here. That closes off that away. And as soon as that closes off that away, we can sneak all of these greens up this way. Boop, boop, and boop. There. So Rocky 1, you've got plucky underdog Rocky Balboa, who tries and fails to beat great big powerful world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed or whatever. Is it Apollo Creed? I think it's Apollo Creed. Whatever. So he takes on the big bad world heavyweight champion and he almost wins, but he doesn't win. And everyone's like, hey, you tried real hard and you did good. We're going to celebrate you even though you failed, bud. Again, the first and only time in the history of scripted fighting where someone actually got over by losing. So Rocky gets over, and then Rocky 2 happens. And in Rocky 2, I think they just do Rocky again, except this time he wins? I don't remember. It's convenient that you're having trouble with the stream right now, Sam, because I am dispensing all the knowledge I know about the plots of the Rocky movies, which might or might not be spoilers, actually. We'll see here. So Rocky 2, Rocky has his rematch with... it might actually be Clubber Lang in the first 2, because Apollo Creed is a character later. Anyway, this long blue road right here is no longer working for anyone, most importantly me. Okay, it is Apollo in the first one. Well, at some point, Clubber Lang exists. We'll deal with that. But anyway, first... we have to continue recapping the plots of the Rocky movies. So in Rocky 2, I just realized I don't know what the fuck happens in Rocky 2. I'm gonna assume that they just do Rocky again, except this time he wins. This time he wins and he becomes the world champion and it's awesome and great or whatever. And he makes a bunch of money and everybody loves him and he's Rocky Balboa, the greatest world champion in the history of the world. Until Rocky 3, wherein Rocky's gone all soft in Hollywood and is like, oh, I want to do soap commercials or whatever. And he does soap commercials or whatever. And then along comes Hulk Hogan, who's playing a character named Thunder Lips. That's true fact about professional Rocky movies. Hulk Hogan's here playing a character named Thunder Lips, who beats the ever-loving shit out of Rocky and takes his world title on account of him being soft. And then Rocky's like, oh no, I want my belt back, give me money. So he's like, oh no, and he gets his belt back because money, and he has a rematch with Thunder Lips and he beats him. Because this is Rocky movies, they all have happy endings now. And then Rocky 4 happens, and in Rocky 4, At some point along the way, Rocky has made lifelong friends with former rival world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed, and Apollo Creed is having an exhibition boxing match against a big Russian evil guy, Ivan Drago. And you know he's evil because, well, it's the 80s and he's Russian. That's it. That's the entire, and it's basically his character motivation is, it is the 80s, I am Russian, I have to be evil, blah. Did you know that Russians sound like vampires? That's the thing they don't tell you in diplomacy school. Oh, it cracked me up. That Russians sound like vampires. So, oh God. All right, we're gonna extend this yellow road again. It's gonna come up this way, go that way, and then these reds right here are gonna go here and into there. So Ivan Drago, the big bad evil Russian, has an exhibition match against Apollo Creed, and he totally wins. Like, he's gonna knock him the fuck out. But then someone's like, Ivan, if you don't stop punching this man, the man is going to die because, little known fact, boxing causes head trauma, and that's bad for people. And Ivan Drago was like, blah, if he dies, blah. So, I can't tell the story without yet laughing at myself, which is probably bad. But, So Ivan Drago is all like, blah, if he dies, blah. And then he murders him with punches, which is a thing you can do to a person if you really don't like them. You can punch them to death. And that's what Ivan Drago does to poor dead Apollo Creed. So Apollo Creed dies. And Rocky's all like, oh, you murdered my friend. Why?
Lol, that's 25% PF 100 months. That's a lot of months.
25% of 100 months, a quarter of a century of months for Leah Fireheart. 25 months in the Goog troop for Leah. Thank you, and congratulations on continuing to be able to drop all of those lovely Tier 1 emotes. Good morning, Leah. We are discussing the plots of the Rocky movies because Sam watched his first one ever, and I've never seen them, but I feel like I know all of them. So we're about halfway through Rocky 4. To recap, Ivan Drago has just murder punched Apollo Creed to death, and Rocky's all sad about it because, oh no, you killed my friend, I like that guy. And it turns out that Rocky liked that guy. We're gonna take, incidentally, we're gonna put motorway number 3 right here and get the, I said of months. I said in months. You get down there. None of us have seen Rocky movies. You're among friends. So Rocky's all sad that Ivan Drago murder punched Apollo Creed to death, and he goes to Russia to train. And there's snowing. By the way, all of these movies have training montages and are just the most 1980s thing imaginable. As a rule, it is a blanket statement that is totally applicable here. All of the Rocky movies are just the most 80s thing imaginable, and they're excellent. We haven't even touched on like the awesome music and Eyes of Tigers and thrills of fights and that sort of thing. The bottom line is you've got to rise up to the challenge of your rivals. That's the thing that you have to like hold on to there. So, where was I going with this? This green over here has gone circular, which is not great, honestly. I've got a bunch of green over here that could theoretically do something about that, but they're all like far and I don't have any roundabouts or motorways or nothing, so might just be bad. Might just be bad times. I could run like one more green over that away, and I have these two. Actually, I have these two greens. Hold on. You go that way. It doesn't matter that the first two Rocky movies were in the 70s, Sam. They're still the most 80s things imaginable. This is how science works. So anyway, Rocky 4. Rocky goes to Russia and he trains and he fights. And despite the fact that Ivan Drago is definitely on steroids, because listen, it was the 80s and there were Russians, everyone was on steroids, at least according to the movies and possibly real life. I was not functionally a human being in the 80s, and I was certainly not in Russia. Anyway, this right over here is bad. What are we going to do about that? Give me a motorway? Thank you. That's a good start. We take this motorway, we run 1, 2, 3 lovely red houses, straight shot motorway number 4, just like that. That is going to be great, except for the part where these 2 greens. All right, here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do this. I'm going to put a traffic light here and also here. Voop and voop, a la thus. That's going to be gross, but it's going to have to be okay as well. This yellow business here is going to grab all of these and run this way. These yellows are just going to support this business. It's going to probably be fine. It's going to probably be fine. As I was saying, so Rocky goes to Russia and he fights Ivan Drago. And he's going to win, and Ivan Drago's all sad because his trainers have been abusive to him or whatever. But then Rocky so Ivan Drago looks at Rocky and is like, blah, I don't want to die or lose, so don't kill me, blah. And Rocky goes to Ivan Drago and says, you can say, everyone can say. And somehow the babyface, like the American winds up a babyface in Moscow in the 80s, which is probably the most bullshit thing about the entire Rocky movies. But anyway, Rocky wins and everyone's happy and the Cold War ends and the Soviet Union falls, which I don't think is actually in the plot of Rocky 4, but also Rocky 4 came out in like 1984 and within a decade there was no Soviet Union anymore. So that's nice. And then Rocky 5 happens, and the only thing I know about Rocky 5 is that it sucks. Like, everyone sucks to the point where, back when I read Bill Simmons regularly made statements that Rocky 5 didn't happen and was not a real movie and didn't actually exist. So, Rocky 5 is apparently bad, is all I know about Rocky 5. Now, I have picked up a motorway, which is lovely. However, what are we going to do with that motorway, I wonder? We've got, I've got all of these greens here. You know what I could do? And what I'm going to do, in fact, I'm going to kill these traffic lights. I'm going to kill all of this road just to simplify and give me a whole bunch more road back, even though I don't really need a whole bunch of road. But we do have these 5 greens right here. We're going to drop motorway number 5 and swing it up into this business. So these 5 greens are now responsible for the life and happiness and security of this business over here. That's better? Question mark? I don't know. So Rocky 5 happens and it's bad. And then, is there a Rocky 6? Sort of. So Rocky 5 happens, and it's so bad that they don't make a Rocky movie for like 25 years. Also, they had made 5 of them. It was probably time to be done for a while. So Rocky 5 happens, and it sucks. And then, 20 years later or whatever, there's Rocky Balboa. And now Rocky is roughly a quadrillion years old, but Sylvester Stallone wants some money, so he writes another Rocky movie. And the plot of Rocky Balboa is, Rocky, you're 1,000 years old. What the fuck are you doing? You can't box anymore. And I think they mirror Rocky in Rocky Balboa. I don't think he actually wins, but he comes really close. So in Rocky Balboa, Rocky, who's like 1,000 years old at this point, comes ever so close to being the world champ again, doesn't actually win the belt, but becomes the second of 2 dudes in the history of scripted fighting to actually get over by losing. Wherein he almost becomes the world champ at 1,000 years old, but then he doesn't. And then like another 5 years go by and Michael B. Jordan's like, wait a second, I want to make Rocky movies. So Michael B. Jordan starts making Rocky movies, except they're called Creed because Michael B. Jordan is, well, how do I put this delicately? Black. So instead of them being Rocky movies, they're Creed movies. And Michael B. Jordan is Apollo Creed's long-lost kid. And Rocky Balboa is now his mentor. By the way, Rocky Balboa had a mentor named Sal? I think it was Sal. We're going to say Sal. Rocky Balboa we're going to say Sal because one time I saw our mutual friend Izzy Soros play a character in a play named Sal, and Sal had an enormous fake mustache. So whenever I reference Sal, Rocky Balboa's friend and trainer, I want you to imagine our friend Izzy Soros as a grease monkey mechanic who's also a fry cook and has an enormous fake mustache. So, Rocky Balboa's friend and trainer Sal is all like, he's the guy who's like, you can't do it, Rock! Punch this meat! And then Rocky winds up doing it, and he was like, well, shit, Rock, I was wrong. You totally did it. Good on you for punching the meat. So he does that. And then eventually he gets older and older and older until I think in Rocky, it's either Rocky 2 or Rocky 5, which, listen, I know there's a big difference in movies here, but I don't remember. So in Rocky 2 or Rocky 5, Sal is too old to move around and he has a robot butler. And the robot butler looks like Alpha from the Power Rangers. This has been a digression to explain the role Rocky Balboa plays in the Creed movies. And I think there have been 3 Creed movies. I don't know anything about any of them. I think I'm going to assume that in Creed 1, they do Rocky except with Creed. And then Apollo Creed's dead and Creed wants to be a boxer, but he's mad at Apollo Creed and he's mad at Rocky and whatever, and they become friends, and then he becomes the 3rd out of 3 dudes in the history of scripted fighting to get over by losing. And he loses in Creed 1, which is just called Creed. And then they're like, oh, that made money? We could do another one? Great! So they do Creed 2, where they just do Rocky 2, which, as you will recall, is just Rocky, but Rocky wins at the end. So Creed 2 is just Creed, but Creed wins at the end. And then I think they're just mirroring the Rocky movies, honestly, because I remember seeing trailers for Creed 3, which I don't remember the subtitle of. I think these Creed movies have all had subtitles, but we're going to say that the 3rd one was called Creed 3PO. So in Creed 3PO, it's all, oh, Creed, you're the best, you're the greatest, you've gone soft in Hollywood, you don't have to train anymore. What do you mean you fucking lost the world title? Get out of here, you bum! And he's all like, arg, I'm mad. And he args and mads himself into re-winning the world title and being the best or whatever. Which, if we follow, means that in Creed 4, Creed is going to have to go to Russia again. It's been so long that Russia are the big bad evil bad guys, sort of. And he's going to have to fight Ivan Drago Jr. Except I think he already fought Ivan Drago Jr. I think that was in the 2nd one. I think somehow he fought Ivan Drago Jr. in Creed 2. Even though he has to fight Ivan Drago, well, maybe in Creed 4 he'll fight Ivan Drago Jr. And Ivan Drago Jr. will murder punch Rocky Balboa to death, being like, blah, if he dies, blah. I mostly just wanted to get that out again. All right, so we got 2,563 commuters over 99 days. Sam has put 1,000 Samurai Slams in chat, so I'm guessing we didn't beat him? No, we did not. No. Drop those slams in the chat if you got them. Samurai Sam remains #1 victory royale in the whole damn world. He put up 6286, and 2nd place did not. Oh my God, Sam. That's good. Sam did well today. My goodness. All right, let us quickly build together some Wordle and connections and immaculate grid windows. That sounds lovely. All right, you come over here. Bring me my Wordle window. Waboosh. Okay, now listen, there's only one word. We could do Rocky. We could do punch. We're gonna do champ. Yeah, champ rock. Yeah. It's a bad choice of word, actually. All right. What about I don't know. It can't be punch because there's no P. It can't be Rocky because there's no C. It could be boxer. Could absolutely be boxer. I saw that green bee and I was briefly horrified, actually. Okay. It can't be blush because there's no H. Can't be blast because there's no A. It can't be bloom. There's no O. It can't be blurt. There's no R. It could be blunt, as in the forced trauma to which Ivan Drago subjected Apollo Creed before saying, and I quote, "Blah, if he dies, blah." Sad. All right. This time I'm probably done. It could be build. It could absolutely be build. It's build. Yay. So we got the Wordle in 4. Huzzah and hooray for my glorious triumph. Now let's draw some connections here. All right, so Hard Knocks is a school. That's that. Come on, game. You're not making this. Well, actually, hold on. Isn't Hard Knocks also a play? Annie's a play. Cabaret's a play. Uh-oh. I don't. Cats is a musical. I think Hard Knocks is a musical. Hard Knocks is either a school or I think Hard Knocks is a musical. And I know Annie and Cabaret are, so nope. One away. Hard Knocks is wrong. I clicked Cats. I clicked Cats right here. Maybe Company. Maybe we should back away from that for a moment and reconsider. So we've got School of Rock. Sunny has a point. School of Rock, School of Thought, School of Hard Knocks, School of Fish. Yes. Also, Leah confirms that Company is a musical, so we'll do that one next. But wait a second. If we do Hard Knocks, that means we can't do Company. These are all 70s musicals. Okay, then. Wait, Hard Rocks was out. So Company, Cats, Cabaret, and Annie are all musicals from the 70s. Boom. Oh, they're also Tony Award winners for Best Musical, so that's good. And then you've got the School of Hard Knocks, a School of Thought, a School of Fish, and what was the third one? Fourth one? All right, School of Rock with Jack Black. Off you go. There's our purple knocked out. And so, badgers, hounds, bugs, and nags are all just poking someone in the shoulder and being like, "Hey'd you do that? Hey'd you do that? Hey'd you do that? Hey'd you do that? Hey'd you do that?" And then supercomputer tests and piano are things with... I don't know. Where does super fit in there? They have keys. Okay. That makes sense. I was thinking super as an adjective, but no, it's super as in your building's superintendent will have keys. And then a test has an answer key, a piano has the keys to what play the music, and the computer has a keyboard. Okay. That makes sense. Now, for the Immaculate Grid, we need Mariners, Cardinals, Reds, Padres, dudes what had 30 dingers in a season, and dudes what played second base. So, it's going to be interesting in a minute here, but we'll start off fairly easy. A Cincinnati Red who played second base is, I assume Ryan Friel played there. He played everywhere. St. Louis Cardinal who played second base is Daniel Descalso. Again, I just kind of assume. And a Seattle Mariner who played second base is maybe Sean Figgins? Like, he had been a utility guy for a while. He was a dude who kind of played everywhere with the Angels. But by the time the Mariners gave him a big contract, he was basically just a third baseman. Gonna play it a little bit safer than Sean Figgins and say Robinson Cano, even though I'm pretty sure Sean Figgins would have played second base at least once for the Mariners. Okay, now then. A Mariner who had 30 homers in a season. My go-to good-hitting Mariner, just for a bit of a rarity score, is Jay Buhner. Look how much that rarity score helps. 26. God, I could have said A-Rod and it would have been lower than that. Freaking game. St. Louis Cardinal who had 30 homers in a season. We're going to say Matt Holliday did that. What do you mean Matt Holliday never had 30 homers in a season for the Cardinals? I mean, I know he spent the bulk of his career with the Rockies, but he was still good with the Cardinals. He never had 30 dingers with the... Anger. We're going to say Jim Edmonds. Topped out at 28. Some bitch. A Cincinnati Red who had 30 homers in a season is Adam Dunn. And now, unfortunately, we must name some San Diego Padres. Specifically, guys who played for the Mariners, the Cardinals, and or the Reds. And that is tricky, maybe? I think Jamie Moyer was a Padre. And if Jamie Moyer was a Padre, that means he fits the bottom left square. Jamie Moyer was not a Padre. Son of a bitch. All right, fine. Then we're going to go back to this square and just pop in Nelson Cruz because I'm pretty sure that he was a Mariner. Yay. We have done multiple times I have thought that Jamie Moyer played for the Padres, and multiple times I have been wrong. Okay. Well, listen, Sam, Jamie Moyer played until he was 800 years old. Of course it makes sense that I would think he's a dad. A Padre who was also a Red is Will Myers. Everyone remembers Cincinnati Reds legend Will Myers. I don't think Tony Gwynn was a Mariner. I would have thought Tony Gwynn was a lifelong Padre. Could be wrong about that. And of course, Ozzie Smith. Again, San Diego Padres legend, Ozzie Smith. Sure. Also, I like how I said that Jay Buhner was a rarity score pick, and he was the most common dude. You know what it is, Sam? It's people like me who are trying to be tricky. People who remember growing up, and I have no idea who Tom Hare is. It could just be that it's early and only the real sickos have been playing the Immaculate Grid for the last 97 minutes. But I bet that this bottom middle square, since the Seattle Mariner with 30 homers, is people like me who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s when the Mariners were really good and they had 4 incredible hitters. They had Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Alex Rodriguez, and Jay Buhner. And then follow the dudes' careers, right? Ken Griffey Jr. goes down in history as one of the greatest outfielders of all time. He is, for many players, for many fans rather, the symbol of a generation of baseball. He is rather famous. Alex Rodriguez leaves the Seattle Mariners, plays there long enough to establish a presence, but then leaves the Seattle Mariners, signs for the time what was thought to be a ridiculous contract with the Rangers, makes a bunch of money, hits a bunch of dingers, goes to the New York fucking Yankees, makes a bunch of money, hits a bunch of dingers, wins the World Series eventually, gets 3,000 hits, gets 500 homers, gets busted for steroids, should be in the Hall of Fame, isn't going to get in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame's kind of a joke. Anyway, Alex Rodriguez, kind of famous. And then there's Edgar Martinez. Edgar Martinez, arguably greatest designated hitter there's ever been. Mashes baseballs for a quadrillion years, has the famous hit in the 1995 playoffs, scores Ken Griffey Jr., sends the Mariners to the championship series, gets the literal best DH award named after him. Edgar Martinez, kind of famous. And then there's Jay Buhner. And listen, Jay Buhner had a really good career. Jay Buhner played for the Yankees, he played for the Mariners, he hit a bunch of dingers, he was on that 1995 team, he was really good. You know what he isn't these days to random people on the street? Kind of famous. Like if you ask any old schmuck walking down the street, hey, do you know who Ken Griffey Jr. is? They probably know who Ken Griffey Jr. is. Do you know who Alex Rodriguez is? There's a better than decent chance they know who Alex Rodriguez is. Do you know who Edgar Martinez is? That one's a bit obscure to non-baseball fans, but any rando walking out of a baseball stadium is probably gonna know who Edgar Martinez is. But you kinda gotta be just a little bit of a baseball sicko to remember off the top of your head Jay Buhner. And the Immaculate Grid is all about dudes who take pride in being at least a little bit of a sicko. So for a person who takes pride in being just a little bit of a sicko, you say Jay Buhner. Or a Seinfeld fan because there was a time that George Steinbrenner got mad for trading Jay Buhner on Seinfeld, which is a thing that happened. The Yankees trading, I think George got mad at Steinbrenner for trading Jay Buhner. Anyway, Jay Buhner it was George's dad. It was either George's dad or Jerry's dad. It was one of the dads who was mad at George Steinbrenner for trading Jay Buhner because it turned out that Jay Buhner was really good and the guys they got for Jay Buhner weren't. Anyway, this has been a very long digression about Jay Buhner. I don't have an out anymore. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock Eastern for another edition. Folks, on YouTube, there's a new episode of Valkyria Chronicles 4 coming later today. I edited it Sunday, so yeah, that's the kind of backlog we got. It's fine. This is all fine. I have to edit more Baldur's Gate this week before the new episode on Tuesday, but that's a problem for future me. Thank y'all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.